Over 4.5 billion years ago, the cosmos was a place of chaos and wonder. Our solar system was a swirling disk of dust and gas, a remnant of ancient stars that had already lived and died, scattering their elements into the galaxy. From this vast, turbulent cloud, known as the solar nebula, the story of our planet's birth began. In the heart of the nebula, gravity worked its relentless magic, pulling particles together to form the sun, the blazing star that would become the anchor of our solar system. Around this newborn sun, the rest of the nebula spun, flattening into a vast protoplanetary disk. Within this disk, countless grains of dust began to collide and stick together, forming clumps called planetesimals. These tiny building blocks, no larger than pebbles at first, grew over millions of years through a process called accretion, as gravity drew more and more material to them. As time passed, these planetesimals collided and merged, forming larger bodies known as protoplanets. In the region now occupied by Earth, one such protoplanet was gathering mass, its gravity pulling it into a sphere. Each collision with another body released tremendous energy, heating the young planet and keeping its surface molten. The early solar system was a violent place, full of impacts and cataclysmic events, but through this chaos, Earth gradually took shape. About 4.5 billion years ago, a dramatic event occurred. A Mars-sized body, sometimes called Theia, collided with the proto-Earth. The impact was unimaginably powerful, melting much of both bodies and blasting debris into orbit around the young planet. Over time, this debris coalesced, giving birth to our moon. The Earth-Moon system settled into a dynamic dance, their gravitational interaction stabilizing Earth's axial tilt and playing a crucial role in shaping the planet's future climate and habitability. With the moon in place and the surface still a searing ocean of magma, Earth began to cool. As the surface solidified, volcanic eruptions released gases trapped within the planet's interior. These gases, water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and others, formed the first atmosphere. This early atmosphere was hostile and toxic by today's standards, lacking free oxygen and dominated by greenhouse gases. Over millions of years, the planet continued to cool, and water vapor in the atmosphere began to condense. Torrential rains fell, filling the basins and shaping the first oceans. These waters covered much of the planet's surface, creating the primordial seas from which life would eventually emerge. The hydrosphere, atmosphere, and solid crust interacted in complex ways, setting the stage for the next great chapter in Earth's history. The birth of Earth was not a singular event, but a process that unfolded over hundreds of millions of years, shaped by the relentless forces of physics and chemistry. The heavy elements that formed the core, iron and nickel, sank to the center, while lighter elements floated upward, creating the mantle and crust. This differentiation of Earth's layers established a dynamic interior, with heat-driven convection currents in the mantle giving rise to plate tectonics. Plate tectonics would become one of Earth's most defining features. The movement of vast plates of crust reshaped the surface, building continents and ocean basins, driving volcanic activity, and triggering earthquakes. These processes recycled minerals and gases, maintaining a dynamic equilibrium that would later support life. But in these earliest days, life as we know it was still an unimaginable possibility. The young Earth was bombarded by asteroids and comets, a period known as the Late Heavy Bombardment. These impacts, while destructive, also delivered vital materials from the outer solar system: water, organic molecules, and the seeds of chemistry that would eventually give rise to living organisms. As the bombardment waned, Earth's surface became more stable, and the oceans deepened. The thick, carbon dioxide-rich atmosphere kept the planet warm, preventing the oceans from freezing even as the young sun was less bright than it is today. In this environment, complex chemical reactions unfolded. Simple molecules combined to form more complex organic compounds, the building blocks of life. The first continents began to rise above the waves, perhaps as small volcanic islands. Over time, these land masses grew and merged, shaping the planet's geography. Meanwhile, deep within the oceans, hydrothermal vents and shallow coastal areas provided fertile ground for prebiotic chemistry. Somewhere in these primordial environments, the first self-replicating molecules formed, setting the stage for the emergence of life. Throughout this era, Earth's magnetic field developed, generated by the movement of molten iron in the core. This magnetic field formed a protective shield, deflecting harmful solar and cosmic radiation and helping to preserve the planet's atmosphere. The interplay of geology, atmosphere, water, and energy created a unique, ever-changing environment, a crucible for the origins of life. As life began to take hold, it would in turn transform the planet. Early microbial life forms released oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis, gradually altering the composition of the atmosphere. But in these first eons, Earth was still a world of extremes. Its skies red with volcanic haze, its oceans rich with dissolved minerals, its continents barren and battered by storms. Yet, through all these tumultuous changes, Earth was becoming a planet unlike any other in the solar system. Its size, its distance from the sun, its composition, and its dynamic interior all combined to create the conditions necessary for life. The presence of liquid water, the protection of a magnetic field, and the cycling of elements through volcanic and tectonic activity were all essential ingredients in Earth's story. Over billions of years, the planet would continue to evolve. Continents would drift and collide, mountains would rise and erode, climates would shift, and life would diversify, filling every conceivable niche. But it all began with the birth of a world from the dust and chaos of the early solar system, a world that would become our home. The birth of planet Earth is a story of violence and creation, of destruction and renewal. It is a story written in the rocks beneath our feet, in the oceans that cover our world, and in the very air we breathe. And though it began billions of years ago, it continues to shape our lives today, reminding us that we are part of a vast, unfolding cosmic journey.